custom report layout. And then you filter like for type Excel. And you look at standard one like see like this one here, customer top lists. So when you try to run this report, you find out to just give the option of downloading, and it will give you an output in Excel. But this output in Excel can be, you can design it in graphical form if you have your skills in Excel, like trying to do with pie charts. You can do pie charts, graphs. So the data won't show unless you click edit content. Though sometimes it takes some time to load. I just wanted to recap on this. It takes some time to load, but the data will come eventually. So you can, so this is okay, I just wanted to show you this, something that we can try out like even on our custom solutions, like running those like the BVAs, if you want to do like a graphical kind of thing, and maybe you expose it maybe like on the portal, maybe someone clicks and they download it in Excel and generate something like this. So this is something that can be done, can look through. Yeah, so we looked at last time Excel reports. Now I'll just go to the next one, which was word layout. So let me just open my slides. Okay. So word layouts. So basically, if you want to use word layouts, it's also a report layout that Business Central supports, and you usually use it in case you have maybe a lot of static content on your report. So I put here some notes. Design using familiar word tools. How it works: uses tables to arrange content. Table cells contain data fields from the data set, static text, pictures, and logos. So like I mentioned earlier, it's that you to decide to use the word layout will be based on how the report is. Okay, the report you're going to design is going to look like. If it is having a lot of static content, it won't be best that you put all that static content in our RDL file and you put it in those text fields. To be best use like a word layout. Okay, so I can just show you how to go about word layout in Business Central. So I have a Word document, no, a report that I had created here. So it is just a report. I just put test words, and then I put it layout. The layout is this one here. Then the default layout is Word. This is the Word document. So it is having a data item of customer, and then these fields: customer name to amount, and then budgeted amount. So when you publish this to Business Central, you can go under custom layout or report layout. So then you access this report here. So when you access this report, you can export it and then now view it in Word and then start your developments. So in your AL file, you put all the data items you want to use in that report. Then you will have to log on to Business Central and then go to under report layouts, export it to Excel and no, export it to Word, sorry, and then you start designing the report, which I want to show you. So if I can go to my Business Central, here I'd filtered with Excel, but now I'm going to filter to Word. I'm under report layout. So I have a report I created, which is test Word. So it's this one here. So I can export the layout. So when I export the layout, it will download a Word document. Then I can open it. So on opening it, currently my report is blank. And I'm going to just show you how you design the Word report. So the first thing to note that you have to do is to enable the developer option in your Word document. So to do that, you'll have to go under File, then you go to Options. Then after you go to Customize Ribbon View. So initially, if you haven't enabled the developer action on, it will be this side. So you'll have to select it here and then you click Add, then it will go to this section here. So I have this one here, developer, so it's this one here. So if you look at my Word document or my Word app, it has this developer section here. So under this developer section, we have the XML mapping panel. So when you click it, it will open a sidebar where you can view the different call them objects or Business Central. Okay, no, development areas you can use it, but basically the one you focus on mostly is this one, having Microsoft Dynamics nav /reports/test Word report. So this one you usually focus this one that has Microsoft Dynamics nav. So the first thing you'll have to do is now like maybe inserting a table. So you will insert like a table. Just use call. So I inserted the table and I can just put in maybe name and maybe what else. So for you to be able to see the data items, it's again under this Microsoft nav /reports. So when you click it, it will be able to show you the data items you have. So you find out that me, I'm having the data item looked at the other side in the AL file, which is amount, budget amount, name, and name too. So I can put in name too. And then amount. So So for you to achieve, because in the RDL layout, where in the report designer, there's some things like repeating, whereby you want to look through the data that is coming through from the data item. So to achieve that in this word layout, you have to select this whole line, and then go to the data item and click it, right click, and then insert content control, which then you click repeating. So meaning that this data will be repeating, so it will be looped through. Then for you to be able to add these different fields, you will have to click on the specific field that you want to add, or column. Then you can just add plain text, so it will set it there. So you just go on adding each item, no amount, sorry, and maybe name too. So when you save this, so if you have any other content that is static, it will go in those other areas of the word report. So for your case, then once you're done with this, you can then import and run the report. So let me put it on my desktop. After saving it, then you can go back to Business Central and then upload it. Let's import. Yeah, let me just go to that action. Let's go under custom layouts. So let me look for my report. Okay, so I'm going to bring in our layout. So just in the import layout, and then I'll go in and then look for my layout that I've designed. Okay. So after importing, you can try to run the report. So this is what I put in. So this is the output. So basically that's how you do your word reports. I'm just trying to see. So in case you have any changes in the data item, that means you'll have to create like a new layout. Because if you try to use the old one, it won't be able to throw an error because there will be a mismatch. Okay. So that's how you do like word reports. And I've also showed you how to do things like replacement, custom reports. So in case you have like any other report, maybe you have like you want to change a specific layout of a standard report, you can always come here under custom reports, look for that report, and then you import your own layout that you desire to use. And then I want to go to the next section. Share my slides. So the next step or section is implementing multi-language in reports. So in Business Central supports the aspect of you to generate reports in multiple languages, and these are divided into two. So we have the document report and then the internal reports. So the document reports, in my slide, I just show that they must be generated in the language of the recipient. So these document reports can be like invoices, credit notes. So these are reports that are sent to a client or like an external like person, and they are supposed to be received in a different language. And then we have the internal reports that are generated in the language of the user running the report. So we have those two types. So these the internal reports, they're designed by the end user basing on the language they have selected on in Business Central. But then for these document reports, these ones are reports now like on the customer. You have you can set the language, and then that report will go. You can specify that report should go in a specific language. So for user language, for the user language reports, which are the reports for the person using the reports. Usually on your report, we use the include caption and then labels. So for include caption, this on your column on your report in your column, no, on your report under the column where you put the fields, you put a property of include column true. Include caption true. So what it does, it will pick the caption on the table, but for this to work, you'll have to first install an additional extension of that language. But for labels, for them, you will have to just create. It's a file called .xlf file that shows the original or the English version of the label, and then the translation value. So for this case, in this, I'll just show you that where you have how you create that .xlf file in Business Central. Then we have for the recipient language here. We use a text constants, field caption. These are all like properties on the report. And then also Business Central has a function on the report where you can say current report dot language, which you can specify the language. So let me say I design like a customer report and you want it to go in a specific language. You can use current report dot language, and then you maybe pick the language from the customer card. So I'm going to just take you through how you can create a report in the language of the user, which I mean the person using Business Central. So the user language is the language selected in my settings on Business Central. So on Business Central under my settings, usually mostly we deal with switching company, but there is just another aspect of the language. So on that settings page, we have the aspect of switching the language. So switching the language will only apply to only that user that is using the system, like to only that user. So that's that your user settings. So after you assigning after you switching the language, the system signs you out and log automatically, and then applies the new language upon signing in. So your reports that you design, you should in your design you should always put into the aspect of if this report is going to be used by maybe multiple individuals in different regions that use different languages. So in your design, you should also put it in mind, because if you just design your report without putting that in mind, it will always stay in the default language of English. So even if the user switches to French or German, it will remain in English. I'm going to just show you how you do this, how you design your report for it to suit multiple languages. But then these ones you should be having, should be knowing how many languages are going to be, or like you should be knowing the specific language. So let me just go back to VS Code. So I have this report here, which is a customer list report, where I have these columns here, and then I have also the labels down here, which I'm just extending here on the columns, but the labels are down. So when you publish this right now, you won't have any aspect of translation to it, because you have not yet defined the .xlf file for this report here. So VS Code has an extension that can help you generate that .xlf file for you to be able to translate these labels. So I'll just show you that extension. So in case you you would want to design a report. Just try to search for it. So this is the extension, the file, the VS Code extension that can help you generate those files easily based on your objects. So for you to generate these files using this extension, you run you can run you can just press Ctrl Shift P. That will open this Explorer, and then you can type that .xlf. So it has multiple multiple options that you can use. So for you to create your first file, you just create new target file. So on you create a new target file, this will prompt you to select your workspace, and then it will ask you the target language. So it gives you this option here of all the languages that it supports. So those some of like African country languages are not in here, but there is French, Germany, and so you can try to select like a language like Germany. No, let me just try to. Okay, no, it's what? Let me just use Japanese or Chinese. German. So when you click it, so for it, what it will do, it will generate a file based on your objects you have in the file in your extension, and this file will be created under the translations folder here that you see here. So what it does, it just creates the target. It picks all the text in your objects, be it messages, be it labels. It picks all of them and then puts them within this file. So if you look at this section here, you'll see that we have a source of balance LCY. Then if you look at this other section, it shows balance due. It shows you city. Then it shows you the name, and then source again number. Then this is now another report. So it separates this into translation units. So if it's an Excel, so this is an Excel report that only has source Excel report. Then there's another report here of test word that is only having this. So I have a page extension which has this first text here, show how. So this is like this is a message. Then it just keeps on putting all those as source, all the text you have within your, be it a caption, it will be in here. So how right at this point here, you can, even when you publish right now, you do not have the, even if I switch my language to German, I won't be able to view my report in that language. You have to go an extra mile to now get this and put the corresponding translation. So there are some tools online where you can that support this .xlf file, where you can upload this file here and put it into that tool. There are some online tools, and then they will help you generate the translation of these, the translation of the source So for my case, I had one for French, and I had to go in and get the specific translations. So I have this translation unit here, which has this shows you that it's a report, and in this report it's a customer list report. Then the next translation unit, it will show you now the columns. Now I had to, so this one is already now, it's the one that is generated on the initial generation, but then you will have to come in here and put in the targets. When you put in the target, so this is now the translation of balance LCY in French. Okay, so I have this one, balance due, that I did not put in. I did it on purpose. Then city, then villa, then the name, the target is this one here. So you go in and start putting all those, so things like number, the target is this one here. So this is the translation in French. So when I publish and then switch to that specific language, test something here. First go to this one of German and I test something like okay. I want to get this one of German that I've just created here, and then I put a translation of like, let's say, just see what's going to happen. So let me publish. Okay, so it has published. So now I'm going to search for that specific report. This one here. So currently it will look like this, but when I switch the language, go to settings, and then on this section here that shows language, you can switch the language. So the system signs you out, and then
But we are doing French.
yes. So right now it has signed me out. So if you look at my my settings panel here, personalize and all this. So right now it's in Germany. When I search for customer list, So you find out that all these are switched. So you find out in my translation file in balance, there's a field here, my balance due, and I put there Uganda. So meaning if you put a wrong translation, it means that it will also pick that wrong translation. So you find out that for these other ones, I did not put in the translations, and that's why you find out that for them they did not change. You find out that I have source city, but there's no target. You have source name, and then there's no target. So for this balance due, I put in Uganda as the translation to Germany, and that's why it put Uganda. It means that you can also maybe put in maybe Runyankole, and you try the translation of balancing Runyankole or Luganda. But then the challenge you have is that it's not supported. So you can't switch from here. So if I go to the one that I used for French, but then the only other challenge that you may have is that the contents within the tables for it's not translated. And so this is the output for the French, because I've switched to French. But for this, the data in the database for it is not translated. So those ones, for that, you will have to do like a specific kind of function or to translate that data. So I don't know whether that was clear on working with translations. Let me stop sharing. So I'm seeing we're running out of time. There's I think we can look at one of the check the knowledge, check knowledge questions. Let's get that.
Okay. Let's go to that
Yes.
very fast. Let's go to it very fast. Time
Okay,
is already
let me
out.
share my screen. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
No. Just seeing your picture.
Okay. So the first one here. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So the first one here is how do you create a multilingual report? So this was part of my first slide. So to display a report in the language of the user, you would use labels and include caption property to display a report in the language of the so this is another one. To display a report in the language of the recipient, you would use field captions, text constants, and functions in the dataset. Then to display a report in the language of the recipient, you would use labels and the include caption property. To display the report in the language of the user, you would use the field caption and text constants, functions, in the data set. Then we have this other one here, but from my seeing, the answer is include this. Include the labels and the captions. So the answer will be the first one, because for the user, for the user or the person using Business Central, first implement the multilingual report with the labels and then this include caption property. Then for the recipient, that's why we use the field captions and then the text constants. Select the first one. Then where can a user change the language of the UI in Business Central? So this one should be my settings. The language to the my settings page. So it's what? Let me check answer and see. Yeah. Okay. So that's all.
Right. Thank you, Joseph, for that presentation. It has been very informative, especially to do with the multilingual and different Excel and Word templates that we can use in reports. So I encourage the members. The documentation is available online. Joseph has given us a clue. Go read and ensure that you understand everything prior to the paper. So with that, I would like to wish you a great day ahead. Tomorrow we shall have Alan. Yeah. Then I will have those issues, the task that was given to Lambert. If there is any volunteer who wants to take over Lambert's section, please let me know by end of day today. If there's no volunteer, then I will choose by random. All right, thank you. The meeting has taken 30 minutes. Bye-bye.